Good day. Today we're diving into one of the most dramatic and sobering books of the Old Testament, the book of 2 Kings. Now, the book itself doesn't name its author, but Jewish tradition credits the prophet Jeremiah with writing both 1st and 2nd Kings. And based on the historical clues, scholars believe it was written sometime between 560 and 540 BC, right in the shadow of Israel and Judah's collapse. So what is 2 Kings really about? It's the continuation and the conclusion of the story of the divided kingdom, Israel in the north, Judah in the south. And if 1 Kings shows us the slow unraveling, 2 Kings shows us the tragic final thread being pulled. The book ends with both nations conquered, Israel by Assyria, Judah by Babylon. But the heart of the story is why this happened. 2 Kings 17 verses 7-8 gives us the answer plainly. All this took place because the Israelites had sinned against the Lord. They worshipped other gods and followed the practices of the nations. In other words, the downfall wasn't political, it was spiritual. Throughout the book, prophets like Elijah and Elisha warn the people again and again, but their message is rejected. Most of Israel's kings are wicked, and although Judah has a few bright spots, like young King Josiah, who did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, the nation still refuses to turn back to God. And yet, even in judgment, we see God's faithfulness. 2 Kings 8 verse 19 reminds us that God refused to wipe out Judah completely for the sake of his servant David. God had made a promise, and he never breaks his word. We also see glimpses of something greater coming. Many of Elisha's miracles foreshadow the ministry of Jesus himself, raising the dead, healing the sick, multiplying food. And when Jesus later mentions Naaman the leper and the widow of Zarephath, he shows that God's mercy reaches far beyond Israel, to the poor, the outsider, the forgotten. So what does 2 Kings teach us today? First, that God takes sin seriously. He disciplines his people, not to destroy them, but to draw them back. Second, that his word is always true. Every prophecy in 2 Kings came to pass exactly as God declared. And finally, that God is faithful, even when his people are not. He keeps his promises, he preserves his people, and he continues his redemptive plan through history. And just like Elisha welcomed the widow, the poor, and even a foreign commander, we as the body of Christ are called to welcome all whom God calls. God shows no favoritism, and neither should we. The book of 2 Kings is a hard story, but it's also a hopeful one. It's a reminder that even in judgment, God is working toward redemption.